So right now the WBO is looking to sanction a fight between Emanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. Should be a rematch. Vaccaro is just coming off a loss to Dennis Baranchik. And we also know that Oscar Valdez is coming off a win over Liam Wilson, which will be a good fight between Navarrete and Valdez. Valdez will be a guy who basically wants a rematch at that fight, knowing that he's coming off a loss against Navarrete. Most of these fighters, they'll love a rematch against guys who just fought. And they lost to. If you think of most of the fighters who ask for fights against guys, they usually bring up a name against a guy they lost to. So I think that's definitely going to be a good option. I don't think those guys will be against that. This also goes to show that Navarrete will be moving back to 130. They're asking for this to be put on the junior lightweight weight class. This is not going to be a 135 lightweight fight. So for them to be thinking that this fight is going to be at 130, this is going to be a huge decision for these guys to make. Navarrete, he's a guy that's not going to take any easy challenges, so he's definitely going to be down to fight Oscar Valdez. But a big decision will have to be made as far as is these guys going to be ready to basically get back in another brawl. That was a tough fight those guys had. You know, it took a lot out of Navarrete to fight a guy like Valdez. It also took a lot out of Valdez to fight Navarrete. So this is going to be one of those battles. But I think a lot of fans out there would definitely be interested in seeing a rematch. I would too. I want to see a rematch in that fight. It's kind of funny because this is basically considered for Navarrete, this would be like not saying that Valdez is a tune-up, not saying that, I'm just saying Navarrete don't take no easy fight, so he doesn't take tune-up, so technically this would be a tune-up for him if he needs to adjust after a loss. It's a big fight for him to take after a loss, so it's going to be for a belt, but the WBO is definitely looking forward to making that happen. I think Navarrete is a guy who's taken a lot of challenges over the last couple of years. Valdez as well, fighting Burchell, Stevenson, and others. But right now, those guys, they're at the crossroads. And I hate that it's like this in boxing where you gotta have guys basically prove themselves over and over, even though this is the way the sport is. But I'm talking about as far as if you're at that level right now. And I feel like both of these guys are at that level. They've had some big wins. I know the Castasiao win was pretty big. It was a tough fight. It took a lot out of Navarrete. And with Valdez also having a win over Liam Wilson, that put him in a position where he's going to be, you know, basically on his way back up. People were looking at Valdez recently like if he loses to Liam Wilson, his career is over, which is a horrible look. I think it's bad that a lot of fans actually look at certain fighters and think that if they lose a certain fight to a guy, they're done. That's just the way the business goes right now. I don't really like it, but it is what it is, and they're gonna have to face the fact that they're, especially Valdez, he's up in age. He was thinking about retiring recently. I'm glad he got his feet back under him and got a second win as far as in his career, but it's back to square one. That's how it always is. With every fighter, it's like that. Whether you're winning or losing, when you're at the top and you're considered the elite, you have to make a big decision. Are you going to be somebody who's going to be a stepping stone or a journeyman to most people, or are you going to be at that level to where you're going to show people that you can beat anybody or face anybody at any time? And I feel like Valdez has always been the type of fighter that'll face anybody at any time. But he has to be basically ready to take that challenge. If he doesn't take that challenge, then you're going to have a guy like Navarrete come out there and beat you. Navarrete will definitely go out there and possibly stop Valdez if he doesn't come out there with the same mindset he had against Liam Wilson. I feel like with the Liam Wilson fight, he did an excellent job keeping his head on straight. Liam Wilson's a very good fighter. He was ready to come out there and win. Liam Wilson gave Navarrete a huge fight. He gave Navarrete a hard time when he fought him. So this is not an easy fight for both guys. But I think Valdez, he's gonna have the right mindset. With him knowing that his career was at the balance just a minute ago, he's gonna have the right mindset to where it's either drill or be drilled. And that's where he's at right now. And I definitely think his technique and everything is gonna be top tier. He did a good job last fight, I'm not gonna lie, he did an excellent job. But this is gonna be a tougher fight this time around. But that's all I got, man. Like and subscribe.